I got to
Of
get the
course.
YouTube channel, and I got to get in that chat with y'all because y'all need a voice of reason. Don be talking his foolishness. The other dude that don't never show his face, foolishness.
Who you talking about? Is that you talking about Bishop, son?
Yes, foolishness.
Oh man.
The brother last week, he was passionate, but he's a boxer. He don't even know sport. He didn't know what we was talking about.
Oh man. I'm sure he might have something to say about that. I'm pretty sure
He coming up here today?
he should be. He should
Yeah,
be. So
I
at
gotta
some
talk,
point. At
I gotta
some
talk to him, yo.
All right. Also on the docket, we got dumping Tibbs, speculation on who will be replacing him, and also who stays and who goes on the New York Knicks roster.
Oh, that should be interesting.
Yeah, I believe so. So what do you want to start off with first? I'm gonna make it comfortable for you. Before we get started, like, share, and subscribe. I would appreciate that very much. Once again, let's do this again. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. My name is R. Jones. This is Untitled. Welcome. And first, I gotta say thank you, Shamik, for joining me tonight. Hope all is well with you.
Absolutely, it is. Hope all is with you too, my brother.
All right. Everything is good. Let's get it started. We're gonna start in the lane of baseball, and since you're here, and we're gonna start off with, I'm gonna be gracious enough to start off. Since you're a Met fan, we're gonna talk about the Met topic at hand. Your boy.
Let's clarify something real quick, sir.
Please go right ahead.
I'm not a Met fan. I'm a diehard Met fan.
Oh, pardon me.
I need to make that. Let's make that distinction.
Okay.
Right now. Let's not start with
Indeed.
any misunderstandings. Okay.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Juan Soto is one of them players that when you get him, slump or not, you just know he's too great to be bad for so long.
Exactly.
And I don't think people understand how hard it is to hit a round object with a round object. Like, he's going to be fine. So, a lot of pitchers, and I watch a lot of games. Obviously, I don't watch a whole. I really watch after All-Star break.
Okay.
But they're scared of him, hence why Pete Alonso is going to steal money next year because he's getting every pitch they're scared to throw to Soto, which what I anticipated too.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I said, Pete Alonso is going to have a heck of a year because just like Soto did well with Judge and vice versa, even though Judge is on fire this year. But, you know, when you get that back-to-back and you can't duck anybody, just like Ohtani, the Dodgers lineup is bananas. There's nobody to duck.
Yep.
There's nobody you can say, all right, I'm going to throw him 3 fastballs, get him out of here, get to the next one. Nobody in that lineup. So he's making it stronger. So he'll be fine. The money they paid him, I mean, this guy is beyond wealthy, bro.
You can say that again.
The problem comes in that you gave him all of this security for his family and all that stuff. Like, when the next star comes up, what is he going to ask for?
Yeah, the precedent has already been set, so to speak.
Yeah. And I never thought, like, Juan Soto's a monster, and they call him generational and stuff like that. But is he really head and shoulders the best player in baseball? And that was my thing too. Like, you give him the money, but all this extra stuff.
Yeah.
But there's players that are as good or comparable to him in terms of I can come and make a big difference. So I want to see what we do in regards to that. But our pitching has stood up stronger than I thought.
Very, very much. I gotta say, I'm really surprised. You know, with the season being 1/3 over, you know, we're getting to the latter parts of it. I'm shocked by this. You know, it's something that I didn't see. You may have seen it as a die-hard Mets fan. Did you see this as far as the pitching is concerned? Because there were issues.
I'm not delusional. So I'm the fan. You hear me talk about the Knicks, and I have nothing good to say. I'm always critical. So when I saw that pitch, and I said, we're going to get killed, man. We have no pitches. And then Sean Manaea went down, too. Remember that?
Right. Yes, sir.
So I'm like, we're in trouble. I kind of trusted the Holmes deal.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I didn't trust any of the pitches. I'm like, who are these guys? We're going to be bad. Boom, 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 boom. Ironically, we haven't hit as well as I thought we would.
Exactly. So, I
I
find it amazing. Not to cut you off, brother.
No,
I find it amazing that Dom, who's not with us tonight, he was saying, he always says to me that the New York Mets are the 3rd best team in their own division, claiming that Atlanta and Philadelphia. That's what he says. So we're not even outside of the NL East and talking about the Dodgers, who probably are the best team in the National League, maybe even baseball.
Being completely objective, I don't disagree with him.
Okay, right.
Even in spite of last year.
Right.
You know, I think we caught fire. But when you look at the Braves top to bottom, pitching, hitting, defense. They're probably better than us. And you look at the Phillies. I mean, they're starting 3 are phenomenal.
Exactly.
And they have bats too. So I could, I wouldn't argue with somebody over that.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with anybody over that.
I hear you, but like I said, I think they're right now. I don't know the exact, but I know since last July to what currently stands today, they have a very good record. So I don't.
Who, the Mets?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, for sure. They have a very good record. I gotta tell you, like I said, I'm a Yankees fan, but I'm not a Mets hater. I'm not. I acknowledge. Okay, stop rolling your eyes. Stop that. Stop that. Okay, I am not a Mets hater. I'm really not. I'm very objective. I'm like, okay, if they go to the playoffs and the Yankees didn't, I would root for the Mets simply because they're New York, and I'm a New Yorker.
See, a real non-Met hater would say, I'll root for the Mets every time except the Subway Series or in the World Series. You like, well, if the Yankees don't make it and they make it, I'll root for them.
Well, I'm a Yankee fan. I was come on now. I'm a Yankee fan.
I root for the Yankees. Unless we get to the Subway Series or the World Series.
Well,
other
that's
than that,
obvious.
they don't affect. It's just like I'm a diehard Giants fan. But
okay,
but I feel for Jet fans. I root for the Jets all the time.
Yeah, I can't root for either one of them. Tell you honestly, I just can't do it. I tried it out. It wasn't working. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't need that type of stress in my life. I already got the white hair on my beard. Nah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, so you're just not loyal. That's all right though. You'll pay for that later. You'll pay for that.
Nah, I'm loyal, man. What are you talking about? How you figure that? Because
you already switched teams, bro. You switched more teams than anybody.
How so?
You got more teams than J-Lo had husbands.
Yo, you wilding out, dude.
It's a fact.
How is that a fact?
Because they already told me about your Brooklyn Nets and all the stuff. You guys switched. Didn't you lead the Knicks?
I did leave it. Okay, we're not gonna put that out there, but you know what? I'm gonna address it. No, I'll address it.
It's on YouTube.
I will address it. Okay. Yes, I was a fan of Brooklyn, and yes, I was talking a lot of shit. I'm not gonna bend the knee. Because I'm back with the Knicks. I refuse to bend the knee. Oh no, I'm not bending the knee. No, that's not gonna happen.
So now you're back with the Knicks.
Yes, I am.
Disloyal.
I have proven my loyalty, sir. Excuse me.
By leaving, how did you prove your loyalty by being a Knicks fan?
I have proven my loyalty by coming back and by saying quite great things about this team, giving yeah. That's what it is, brother. I'm telling you.
You're not a real fan if you can't go through the losing seasons with your team.
Are you kidding me? Before, when I was at the Knicks, I went through 40 plus years of not winning, of suffering.
Yeah,
how much more can I give? How much more am I supposed to give?
But we competed with Ewing. We competed with Sprewell. We had years where we competed. Then you thought it was over.
We competed, but we didn't win.
No, we didn't win a chip. We didn't win a chip.
So how long am I supposed to go through that heart-wrenching fandom for my whole life?
Yeah, you understand that's what loyalty is, right? Do we need to get the dictionary and
loyalty to a fault? Loyalty to a fault. Stop it.
We're defining loyalty.
Don't hit me with these. No. Again, 40 plus years.
No.
Okay.
See, here's the difference. If you have a friend and he always getting you in trouble and you say, yo, we can't be friends no more, that's not disloyal. That's self-preservation. If you have a team that's horrible, you stay with them. No matter what, that's loyalty.
So you've never been disloyal to a team that you rooted for?
Never. I started watching sports when I was like 6. So that was 78.
Come on, bro.
I fell in love with the Knicks first. I can't remember if it was the Knicks or the Mets.
Right.
But it was one of them, and they wore the same color. So I was like, okay.
Right.
And then my dad had season tickets to the Giants from the age of 6 to 18. I went to every home game, so I was locked in. I never rooted for anybody else.
Nah, never?
Ever. I've wanted other teams to win. Like, I'm a big LeBron James fan, so I was like, okay, I hope he gets one. Stuff like that. Okay, the hostile boxing brother ain't here, but my man's here. Okay.
There he is. Live. Your mic is live. Welcome to Untitled. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully you're feeling well.
Yes, sir. What's up, y'all? How y'all?
What's good, brother?
Doing good. Brother, before you even get started, like, are you a phone person, bro?
Negative.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. Because I be texting you. I'm like, yo, I said, get the link. I'm waiting. I'm like, I said, okay.
You know what? I think you don't have. I think you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like my number. I don't know because I don't know if the name come by or can name come through.
Right.
But I never get your texts, my brother. I get them in the right. I'm in the chat.
Right.
But I don't get your. You know what though? I gotta check. I'm not a phone guy. Let me.
Okay.
Technology is slowly like creeping by me. Like where I used to be. I used to be up on everything. Pixels and giggles and all of that. Now it's flying. AI is just killing me right now. So.
I get it. I kind of figured out. I had to ask you if you showed up, so I was like, let me ask this guy real quick. So we was talking about Juan. So, also before that, this guy Craig was getting on me about me not being loyal.
Loyal in the universal sense, or just like the teams and stuff like that.
The teams and whatnot. I'm a bandwagoner, this and that.
Right. So I only had conflicted feelings about a team when the Nets moved to Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn, right? Now I didn't give it a thought until they was going to sign Jeremy Lin. If they would have gave Jeremy Lin any kind of fucking money, I was out.
Right.
I was out. I was bouncing to the Nets. To the Nets. I was downtown. I was looking at the apparel. But
right.
when I looked at it, I was like, oh, this shit is ugly. I was like, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel you, man.
Other than that, I got one jersey. I got one team jersey in my closet, and that's the Knicks.
That's the Knicks, exactly.
That's it. And baseball. I was a young cat. I was a Yankee. You know what I'm saying? I came up with the Mets a little bit, so I was kind of Subway Series on that tip, but.
Look at it, yo, my man, yo.
But you from Brooklyn, though?
Yes, sir.
Brooklyn don't make Yankee fans,
right? Well, I tend to differ. Okay, so I'm 57, right? So I go back to Craig Nettles and Reggie Jackson and them. You know what I'm saying? That's when I was. Now you may be right because I bailed on them niggas.
Wilson and them.
Huh?
You don't remember Mookie Wilson and all of them?
Of course.
Mookie Wilson, no. Okay, Mookie Wilson on the Mookie
Mets.
Wilson on the Yankees?
No,
the Mets.
On the Mets. Yeah, no, I remember Mookie Wilson on the Nets. Strawberry. Gooden. I remember. Who else on the Mets?
Tim Tuffle.
I remember Gooden. Yeah, I remember Gooden on the Nets. On the Mets.
Exactly. Okay.
Brooklyn don't even get along with the Bronx. If you was a Yankee fan in Brooklyn, you should have got beat up by some Decepticons or something every time you
well, okay, so I was too young. If you listening to the years, nigga, we flipping cards. Like I'm still a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a child. You know what I'm saying? So like the Transformers wasn't even out. You know what I'm saying? Like so you feel me? So it was. No. And again, like them was the only black people I was seeing on TV was baseball players and shit. So yeah. Well, the Yankees, I was a big Yankee fan. I was a terrible Yankee fan in back then. But then as I started getting older, I started fucking with the Mets a little. Again, wrong. You know what I'm saying? Dwight Gooden was my like a black pitcher. Like Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? So that was Strawberry. That whole kind of like when they because I think they won one when
86.
I was when I was So I was good with them. Mookie, you know what I'm saying? I even won. I did a science fair and I won my family some tickets and they was able to be like behind the home plate. They was there. I didn't go out like an idiot. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like I loyalty is I mean and I don't mean to be disrespectful but it's fair weather. You know, like you can't be fair weather with these teams, man. Like you can't do it.
Yeah, I get it.
I
I
was
get it.
raising
Like
my hand to get him back to the original question because I thought he was riding on your disloyal train with you, but he came back and answered the question. And there you go.
all right.
Talking about himself.
Listen,
I
I'm
can't rock
gonna
with
own it.
you.
I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own it. Okay, yeah.
I mean, again, B, if it's just not just like you got 150 jerseys in the like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is what I hate about cats that do that. Like my man, he fuck with the Knicks, but then you got a Lakers like when the Lakers and you be saying that we shit. Get that shit out of here! Like, come on, like, stop
You ain't trying
that!
to hear that. You ain't trying to hear that. You ain't trying to hear that. I get it. I get it.
And
like I said, I own my shit.
Right? Nah, and that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
I'll own it.
I'm sitting over here going, D'Antoni is Alexis Fed. You know what I'm saying? And niggas is we LeBron fans, like we Heat fans. Now we Cleveland fans, and I'm like,
Right. I understand. I get it. I hear you, brothers. I hear you, man. But again, let me get you started with the Juan Soto discussion we was having with me and Craig was talking about this guy and whatnot. What do you think about his struggles? And I tell you this, the Mets are playing well without him. Could you only imagine if he was on board, if he was doing what he normally does, swinging a bat? Oh man, forget about it.
Yeah. Juan Soto was the cat that supposedly like left, right, and got a whole bunch of money, right?
Yeah, he left the Yankees,
and he's not. I'm not a big baseball fan today.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so y'all gonna rock. I'm gonna ask y'all like outsider questions. You know what I'm saying? So,
gotcha. Understood.
But getting money and not producing, like that's. Ain't that like tipping the? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a chance. You know what I'm saying? Especially he in a new environment now, right? So, and he can't. He's not producing the way he do. It happens, man. But I heard he was talking shit, so he might deserve it. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know what? He was talking some stuff like, "Oh man, I kind of miss hitting in front of Aaron Judge and this and that." You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's people.
Right, I remember y'all talking about that.
Yeah, people aren't going to respond nicely to that. They're like, "Oh, well, you made that move or whatnot. That's the team you wanted to sign with. You don't want to be in the Bronx with us. Well, kick rocks and keep it moving. Keep it moving. Then that's how people are feeling. And I get it. But again, I think he'll be fine. People making much ado about nothing. Like I said, the third of the season that's over. Plenty of time, plenty of games left to turn it around, and there stands to be no reason why he can't turn it around with all the time he has, and he's a proven commodity offensively. So it'll come back to him, So with that
I know you don't have nothing to say about him switching teams. I'm sure you can relate to that kind of stuff.
So you still gonna throw some jabs on us
all day.
You still gonna throw them jabs? I should call you Tommy Hearns and shit. I'm just like, God damn, man.
Tommy the Hitman Hearns all day. You catch him.
You're like the guy that you. I'm not gonna say despise, but you're like the Bishop.
No.
Yeah, Bishop be wild. That's a wild dude.
You like the damn Bishop. Hell yeah. What else we got? My man.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Man, how you doing, buddy?
What's up,
He only want to talk about this. He only want to talk about the Knicks.
That's not true. Because you're talking about my favorite topic right now.
Yep.
My favorite guy I want to talk about.
You've been waiting for this.
Juan Soto will be fine. Juan Soto will be fine when the Mets finally figured out that they got duped. And they got duped for $765 million.
Yo, wait a minute. Wait. That's a lie, right? Y'all bugging.
How's that? I'm going to listen.
He got signed for $750 million.
765.
Nah, it wasn't
5 years. No, over 13.
Over 18 years.
13 years.
13
years.
So baseball is that lucrative, huh? They think they get money like that?
Baseball has the luxury of not being capped like the NBA or the NHL or even the NFL for that matter. And like I said before, congratulations to Juan Soto because he finally found somebody that was willing, that was stupid enough to willing give him that kind of money, that kind of benefits, and those kind of perks and all that other stuff. And I mean, the fortunate thing is that he didn't have to travel far. Yankee Stadium and Citi Field are not that far away from each other anyway. So his place of work is just not that different. But if you're a Met fan, which I am not, even though I live in Queens, you have to be scratching your head, wondering why did we sign this guy? Like, what was the big deal? I mean, you see that Ohtani got something similar, but Ohtani pitches and hits, is productive, and he can be productive pretty much anywhere in the lineup, anywhere you put him, on any team that you want him, he will be productive. Juan Soto is showing you that he needs a little bit of help. And for some reason, they thought the Mets and their brain trust thought that Pete Alonso and Lindor and whoever they got over there, a bunch of nobodies, was going to supplement what an MVP candidate like Aaron Judge did for him last year, which is impossible. So on one hand, I feel bad for him, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you made $765 million. I ain't feeling bad for you. I'm looking at you like, well, when are you going to start producing? When are you going to live up to that contract? When are you going to start to show, because at the end of the day, we're all New Yorkers, and I may not be a Met fan, but I mean, that's a bad look for the city. That's a bad look for its fans. That's a bad look for Queens. And, I mean, come on now. I mean,
I gotta tell you, we got not just a fan, but a diehard Met fan.
It's my turn to go.
Oh,
you must not like living then. You must hate your life. But if you're a Knicks fan, a Met fan, a Jet fan, it's like, just kill yourself, dude. I mean, seriously.
You clearly live in Connecticut and know what Queens is. You live in Queens still?
I'm in South Oakland Park, bro.
So here's the thing about Juan Soto. You talk about what the Yankees were showing. I guess you forget what he did in the World Series with the baby. Juan Soto's been good before he played with Atlanta. That's why the Yankees won in the first place.
I'm not denying that. But look at that team. Look at the team that he had around him. He had a lot of good, very good protective hitters that could make contact, got on base. He had the pitch. Fortunately, he was around a good pitching staff, so the wins kind of justified that. And yes, the Mets are doing pretty good, but they're still the third best team in their own division. They're probably the third best team in New York City.
You talking about my record, or you talking about what you think?
No, by record, I mean, come on now. How often has the Mets been like this? The Mets will have a great April, a great May, okay June, and then by July, they become the Mets.
You mean like last year?
Like every other year.
Because last year,
six.
So if that's really the case, how are we judging Juan Soto over 30 of the season? The Mets have clearly improved. They got new ownership. You're talking about a team, because we're talking about Juan Soto, the individual, not performing. But our team is neck and neck, if not first, in our own division that the Braves and the Phillies are in. So let's add some context to it. And yeah, he's been underachieving, but his presence has helped everybody around him. So he's doing for our batting lineup what Judge did for him with the Yankees. So he's a great addition. And like you said, there's no salary cap. We got the richest owner in baseball. The only people talking about the money are the people that's not making it. I don't care less what he got paid.
That's right. I would do a contract because I would love for somebody to pay me to do something that I love that much money. I mean, I would be okay with just $3 million.
Here's the thing about Juan Soto. Juan Soto, despite his struggles, hasn't forgotten the process. In between innings, when he's batting, he goes in the batting cage after the first at bat to simulate pitches so that the next at bat he can do it. All he's doing is having a slump, which no great hitter has never endured. So he's going to be fine.
But this is a long ass slump, don't you think?
No. No, it's not.
It's a really long slump compared to. I mean,
How many times has he been walked this year?
huh?
How many times has he been walked this year?
I'll give you that.
So he's just a frustrated hitter that they're not going to be able to walk soon when the rest of this lineup keeps up. And if we really know baseball, we know he's way too good to be in the slump. Everybody's looking at the metrics and the numbers, and they're not looking at his impact. Yeah, he's not doing what he's supposed to do, but he's been getting walked. I think he's top 2 or 3 walks in baseball.
I think he's fourth, if I remember correctly. I didn't check like.
Might be fourth. Otani's up there too.
Yes.
Otani and Judge are up there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna be fine, and that owner gonna spend some more money, and we're gonna be fine. The Mets are gonna be fine.
Gotcha.
We beat the Dodgers yesterday. Don't let us beat them. Don't let us beat them again.
I know that. They're not winning the title.
Huh?
They're not winning the title.
I don't know yet. It's too early to say. Anything can happen in baseball. If you're a baseball fan, you know better than even say that.
I know that. I know that. But knowing the Mets' history, knowing how the Mets have traditionally and statistically speaking have always floundered off around this time, and this is one injury away from being the Mets again. And
If Aaron Judge gets hurt, what are the Yankees?
Still the Yankees, unfortunately.
They're the losing Yankees. Any team you want injury away from no longer being able to compete, but Juan Soto's going to step up. He's too good to continue to and he's under a lot of pressure.
I will concede that point until October. October is when it really matters.
Juan Soto is one of the greatest postseason baseball players ever.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to wait until October 2025. Yeah. First of all, the Mets got to get there, and then they got to perform. Because Juan Soto, because I always appreciate Juan Soto for the run that he gave the Yankees last season. He gave us an incredible run, and without a shadow of a doubt, we don't make it to the World Series without Juan Soto.
So would you rather have a slumping Juan Soto during the year that has a postseason of being phenomenal, or Aaron Judge who bats 500 and can't hit the baseball with a tree in the postseason?
Let me get back to you on that one. Because I didn't live to the odds.
Aaron Judge disappeared.
I didn't live the odds. So let me get back to you on that one because I did live to the rod.
Yeah, man.
And speaking of Aaron Judge, let me just get this out here real quick. I owe this guy an apology. I do owe him an apology. Yeah, that's right. What can I say? After that contract, I was on here and I was talking mad shit about him. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it a buck. And I said, well, he'll never approach those numbers, that historic numbers that he did back, during that free agent year and whatnot. And what did he do? Came out, put up similar numbers. Hard to believe. Actually stayed on the field. Hard to believe. Never didn't see that from him previously. I was shocked. And he's doing it again this season. He's having a phenomenal start to the season. And if my memory serves correctly, isn't he somewhat of a notorious slow starter? Does he start the season off slowly, or am I wrong here?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay,
that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think so though.
I could have sworn he always starts off a little bit slow, and then when he gets in these tears is when he's in his mode, so to speak. In his crush mode. But this season, he's off to a big start, a huge start, and again, early MVP in the American League without question.
They're in the weakest division in baseball.
What's that again?
They're in the weakest division in baseball. So they're gonna make it to the postseason. It's gonna look great, but we'll see what happens.
Right, games got to be played. That's the bottom line.
And he hasn't had postseason success ever.
That's the one sticking point. I get that,
and that's why you shouldn't owe him an apology.
Exactly. You got to wait to the postseason to apologize to him.
Thank you.
Even though his numbers are phenomenal, though. Like batting 500 is crazy, but
it's insane.
I mean, but until he does it in the postseason, so what?
And And Reggie, your mic is live as well. Thank you for joining us, brother.
He
How are
owes us an apology
How do you figure that?
for his lackluster play in the postseason.
Lackluster's putting it nicely.
Oh my God! What the? Okay, you know what? Maybe this will be the year. Maybe this will be the year.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Damn. Jesus. Hold on. Let me see what from the Bleed Blue show. Apology. No, my brother. He has to deliver in postseason. When Yanks needed him the most, he crashed. He's a great, but he's a great, but need to see that same energy in the postseason, specifically World Series. What do you guys think about it? Well, I already know what you think about that because you just said it. So
they're not going to the World Series.
You don't think so?
Who is?
I don't know yet, but not them.
You don't think so?
Yeah, please, don't even go there. Look, I conceded with you on the Mets thing.
Right.
You I'm not conceding on the Yankees on that one. The Yankees right now, they're the class of the American League. They're the only team in the American League that is actually doing anything. I mean, given the Tigers are okay, the Indians had their night last night. There's really no other team in the American League that posted enough threat, consistency, pitching, bullpen, hitting than the New York Yankees. Nobody. Definitely not even anyone out of the division. No one in the Central. No one in the West. This is our league to win. So, again, if you're a betting man, if you're definitively a betting man, and you pretty much have set in your head, we're going to have a rematch of last year's World Series. Pen it in, because I think the Yankees might fare a little bit better than they did last year. Because
do you think they're better than the Dodgers at this point?
I don't know. The Dodgers are on a different level.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
They're on a different level.
Yeah,
and it's like 1 through 9. That lineup, they can all hurt you.
Right.
I mean, not to say that the Yankees don't have that as well, but the reality is that if you go 1 through 9, there's a clear advantage.
Right.
On the LA side, there's a clear advantage. It's like 6-3 or 7-2. 1 through 9.
It's the pitching for me though, and Ohtani hasn't even pitched yet, and he will.
Right.
He might not even pitch next year either. That's the even crazier part.
Might not have to. Their pitching is phenomenal. He might not need to.
Understood.
I mean, like, their only gap in pitching is probably their closing, because I think that, but that's about it.
Perhaps. Let me just move on real quick. Something just happened not too long ago. Can I just touch on this? I didn't have it on the board, but I'm going to touch on this for a second. Aaron Rodgers signing with the Steelers.
Why?
Yeah, he signed with the Steelers.
Why? But my question is why? I mean, is he really like that determined to mimic Brett Favre's career? Verbatim, win a Super Bowl with the Packers, go to the Jets, not go to some other team that that's willing to take him. I mean,
defraud all them white people out there welfare money.
Well, I gotta tell you honestly, and this is gonna be a wild take here, but bear with me. ACL surgeries, they say, are 6 months to a year. I tend to believe it's a little bit longer than that to get to 100%.
Yeah.
I tend to think it's more 18 to gasp 24 months, okay, to get to 100. And if you look, did he really have a bad year like that?
No,
he didn't. If you look at his stats, it really wasn't a bad year. It really wasn't. So again, this guy, he's going to be a lot closer, if not a 100% healthy. And coming off the season he came off, and you're throwing to DK Metcalf and also Robert Woods. Okay, now they may not be prime They may not be prime like they were before, but at the same point, they are serviceable wide receivers. And he may be.
Metcalf is.
Metcalf is.
Yeah,
I mean,
Metcalf is
You
a
don't think
monster.
you don't think Robert Woods is serviceable? I'm not saying he's on Metcalf's level.
Oh no, he definitely serves. He's not in his prime though. He's on
Right.
He's on the decline.
He's on the decline. Oh, no question, of course.
My problem with Aaron Rodgers is this: people act like he's Joe Montana and he's not. He's won one Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
He scored less than 17 points in the playoffs games that he has made, which was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Lost to lower seeded teams, and it's on him. His defense showed up. He couldn't get the ball in the end zone. So the Aaron Rodgers, a lot of times in sports, you say a name, right? And I know we're going to talk about the Knicks later. Hey, should we get KD? We're not getting the MVP KD. KD going to be 37 years old. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers' name is like, oh, Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers, although he was serviceable and didn't have a horrible year last year, is not the Aaron Rodgers that's going to come and win you a Super Bowl by himself, because he didn't even do it in Green Bay when they had defense, offense, wide receivers, and a running back and offensive line. So why the Steelers think bringing him in there in that division that has Baltimore, by the way, and Cincinnati, if they sign that pass rusher, is going to make a difference. Aaron Rodgers is overrated, bro. He has one Super Bowl.
It's not even overrated. It's like he shouldn't have been rated. I mean, yes, he won the Super Bowl. Yes, he made a name for himself. Stepping into Brett Favre's shoes, and having a pretty good run. For like the first 3 or 4 years that he was in Green Bay, and then it just tapered off. And I mean, to be honest with you, he's one of those. He's almost like a Doug Flutie kind of type dude, where you're good for for a good stretch. You make a name for yourself, but then you're basically selling on the name and past accolades that really, as Shamik just pointed out, they weren't completely his. He had a defense. He had a great line. He had the wide receivers. He had a tight end he can always run to. He had a good running back. He had an excellent head coach. He had people kind of covering up whatever mistakes that he did have. And when they were all gone, he got exposed. And then the Jets thought that maybe this will juicing up the fan base and get people happy and boost up season ticket sales, even though they don't need it. I think
and one thing too, he
Pittsburgh
definitely got exposed when they left. But keep in mind, when they were still there, he was losing in the first round.
Exactly.
They were still there, and he was losing in the first round to wild card teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs.
And bad.
And this is 5 years ago. This ain't at 41, 42, whatever he's going to be next year. This is 5, 6, 7 years. This is back when he was with Green Bay. So I just don't see the allure about him. I mean, he's one of the most talented passers I've ever seen, but I mean, that was 10 years ago.
Well, I just find it amazing that for a guy that, how many NFL MVPs has he won? 3, 4?
That many?
Yeah, I think it's 4. Yeah,
I think it's 3.
You think it's 3?
It's definitely 3. I don't know if it's 4.
Okay.
And he earned them, and 2 of them he lost in the first round of playoffs.
Right, which was crazy to me.
He's a 4-time MVP.
4-time, right? Yeah,
and
4 times.
Twice he had won the MVP and lost in the first round of playoffs.
Exactly.
To a wild card team, bro.
Exactly.
I wonder why he got those 4 MVPs.
Well, the man's talented. Come on, you got to give him a little bit of credit.
Steve says Aaron Rodgers is still a top 16 quarterback. That's saying.
Definitely. Yeah. I just know what the Steelers are thinking.
And Ronan Black, my man, thanks for joining us, Ronan. He's like, if Aaron Rodgers is overrated, is Drew Brees overrated?
Yes.
Oh, that was a fast response.
Yes.
Why do you feel like that, Ev?
I've always felt that Drew Brees was overrated because, again, when he was in San Diego, he was on the up and coming, and he had a good team. Once he got to New Orleans, again, he was protected. Coach, defensive line, running backs, tight ends, receiver. He had it all. He was gifted a lot of weapons. But once, like Shamik just pointed out a little while ago, about saying about Rodgers, once those pieces started to go away, he became exposed. There's only a few people there's a few quarterbacks in the history of football that you can take away pieces and still make them interchangeable. Tom Brady's one of them. I hate to admit it, but he's one of them. Maybe Definitely Dan Marino's is probably up there, maybe even Peyton Manning. But at the same, but I'm sorry, but Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers, they're almost the same guy if you really think about it.
Yeah,
I think
Peyton
I
Manning.
don't think Drew Brees is overrated because I don't hear anybody talk about him in no GOAT conversation. So he's
true.
about where he should be. Aaron Rodgers to me is overrated because you losing to inferior teams. That's my thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't think any quarterback is going to be but so good. I mean, Eli Manning is my quarterback for the Giants. Yeah. He looked horrible when he didn't have talent. And to be honest, he threw more interceptions than touchdowns. He's a 500 quarterback. Eli Manning is a 500 quarterback.
Oh my God, I agree.
Interceptions his entire career.
Yeah,
but when it
agreed.
mattered,
now I could be in the discussion. Yeah. That he name and Tyree the helmet catch.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Exactly.
That I mean, I don't want to say like he was over. It's inflated. You know what I'm saying? Eli Manning's situation is inflated. Not saying I don't love him. I love fucking Eli Manning, right? But like it's inflated.
You know what I don't like about Eli Manning? They talk about like he won the Super Bowl. The defense held the Patriots 2 years, both years averaged over 30 points.
Yeah.
17 points. If the game is a shootout, we lose. Eli Manning did not win that Super Bowl. Bro.
Yeah.
No,
but to say you won the Super Bowl means you put up 39 points in a shootout and let him. He didn't win that Super Bowl. And I love Eli Manning. He got us 2 chips. But to be honest, we should have had 4 or 5 if he stopped throwing interceptions all the damn time. All I can remember is the ones we should have had.
Yeah.
He has one more than Aaron Rodgers. Enough said. Enough said.
Oh man, Reggie, stop it! Stop it!
What? Yes or no?
All right, it's factual. I'll give you that.
Leave it at that.
But he ain't win him. He ain't win him. He ain't win him. That's damn sure.
Hey, listen. Who wins by themselves? Name one quarterback that won by himself. I'll wait.
I was kind of gonna say that about Drew Brees too, man. Like I just don't remember Drew Brees being like garbage. You know what I'm saying? Like
ever.
Exactly. He wasn't the worst.
Right.
He was not the worst.
If you want to take something away from Drew Brees, you could say his coach who's with the Broncos and got this boy looking like Joe Montana might have been the reason. Because that coach has developed every quarterback he's ever spoke to. And he's showing it in Denver with a quarterback, what's his Knicks? Bo Nix.
Yeah, Bo Nix.
I didn't think they should even draft him. And boy, was I wrong. It's only 1 year, but
Right.
So, but I mean, Drew Brees overcame. He's 6 feet tall. He did his thing, but I just don't hear anybody talking about like a top 10 quarterback. That's one reason why I don't put overrated attached to his name. But I think Warren Moon is better. I think Warren Moon is better than Aaron Rodgers. Dan Marino is better than Like there's a lot of quarterbacks I can
Warren Moon, Aaron, Randall Cunningham, all them blackety black dudes. You can't say nothing to me about them.
I know that's right. Steve McNair, Ed McNair.
Steve McNair. A lot of them dudes.
There you
go. What's the take on Mike Vick?
I love Mike Vick
or with Philly.
That's how he went out with the dogs, man. I mean,
Michael Vick is a bum.
What you say?
Michael Vick is a bum.
Oh man.
I wouldn't go that far, bro.
Oh man.
I wouldn't go that far.
Hold on. Why you call him a bum? A bum?
Michael Vick shouldn't even be in the same discussion with the people that we name
it. I agree. I agree.
I'm gonna tell you, it's personal with Vic because when that tight end used the plural N-word, Michael Vick was the first one to put his arm around him and say, "He's our teammate. We'll embrace him." I can't stand Joker.
I did forget that. Yeah,
I didn't forget it. I'll never forget it. And I know Michael Vick. I know Michael Vick, and if I see him again, I'm gonna tell him about himself. He's as a talent too. He's more a running back than a quarterback, but I mean, he's one of them shiny toys.
Okay,
he's one of them shiny toys, but he ain't no Dan Marino or Warren Moon.
No.
He ain't none of them.
No, absolutely.
No, yeah.
I can see why people are enamored by him. You get a quarterback running 90 yards at a 4.3.
He had an arm too. He had an arm. It just wasn't that accurate.
But Vic is not even in the conversation of Rodgers and Breeze like we were just talking about a while ago, because both those guys will throw circles around him. I mean, he can outrun them all.
Yeah, no question.
He will run them both, but the name of the game is passing the ball, not freaking running it constantly.
Let me say what.
McNabb?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say Cunningham too. You think he outran
Cunningham? No way. Even though he's evil too, but
let me tell you what Steve just said. He said love Warren Moon, but he's not better than Rodgers. Michael Vick is the most talented quarterback. Raw talent. It's too bad Andy Reid got him after that stint in the Bing.
Yeah. Okay, so I know he's talking about Philadelphia Eagle Michael Vick.
Yes, he is.
Right. That's the Vic I'm talking about. I thought he was pretty good in Philly. I think when he got to Philly, he became more of a passer than what he was in freaking Atlanta.
But he's not. But he wasn't the passer that they needed him to be. I mean, with the offensive weapons that the Eagles had at that given time, and I lived in Philadelphia during that time.
Okay.
That was like the major topic of discussion, all over and over. Is Vic the guy? Is Vic the guy? I mean, from the second he got there to the second he left, that was the number one question in Philadelphia sports radio. Is he the guy? Week after week after week, no matter if he ran 100 yards, threw for 200, it didn't matter. They were always asking that same question because although he had his arm improved, his accuracy was just horrible. There was too many drop passes during that time. I mean, you can credit the receivers on that one too, because for some reason they had Butterfingers at that time.
Well, hey, listen, if he get putting it in their hand and they not catching it, who's it on?
It's on the receiver. But then those same receivers will go to another team, and all of a sudden they were catching balls, like they had sticking glue on their fucking fingers or some shit.
I hate that. I hate that.
Right.
Michael Vick didn't have any work ethic. If he had it, and that's the unfortunate story with a lot of
different conversation. If he worked on it,
absolutely.
Okay, gotcha.
If he had that work ethic that Shamika's talking about, he would probably be top 10.
He'd be in the Hall of Fame even after prison.
Yeah. But he would be considered like top 10 quarterback of all time.
I agree.
Okay. And of course, tonight's Thursday night, NBA Finals Game 1 right now is tied up 10-10. First quarter, 10-10. I think it's like half the first quarter is over.
It's more than half. I'm watching.
More than half. Oh, okay, my bad. What are you guys' impressions on Game 1? Or should I say the final, should I say?
The fuck out that fucking OKC. That shit out of there.
Not too much interest, obviously, perhaps.
I'm here with you. I'm here with y'all watching KFTV. I'm like, and that shit. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see the Pacers get swept. That's all. I want to hear about them getting swept.
I think it's gonna be a gentleman's sweep. I think they get one.
You think so? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they get one.
I'll give them one. They can even squeeze a second one, if they're lucky. But
if they're lucky.
But OKC that's a different animal.
Yeah.
That is
that defense. Yeah.
Yeah, and they gonna do the same thing that they gonna beat them down through attrition. You know what I'm saying? Like they play 10, 12 cats too, right? You know what I'm saying? So the thing that them putting 4 people on Brunson, 5 people on Brunson, them cherry picking and that basket hanging all over it ain't gonna work with them.
Nah.
It ain't gonna work. Yeah.
And I tell you this much, SGA is primed.
Yeah,
he's primed to have a big series.
Yeah.
He is
and
primed.
they gonna hold Halliburton by himself. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna be on them. He's not. They're not gonna be. JB is not gonna be. Be sitting there trying to hide from him. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
It's a whole different series. They I want them to get swept. I'm looking at a broom right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm
understand,
Rob.
Understood.
That's how bad it is. I actually don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
My team is out. basketball season's over for me.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
I'm on the trade wire right now. we in summer league right now.
I like this. I just posted the draft hat, and like that's like the only topic of conversations besides, of course, what we just brought up right now about dumping Tibbs. But like the only thing I'm looking at is like is I'm contemplating is whether or not I'm going to pick that hat up or not.
Right.
Because, and that's saying something because the Knicks only have one pick. That's the 50th pick in the second round. So it's going to be like, I don't know.
Not yet.
No, they're gonna have to pick it up. They cap is crazy. Like it's so insane because like that new apron crap is such a. I can't even follow. I used to be on some cap this and cap that. Now I don't even mess with it no more because it's like they could pick up somebody, right? If they got an exception, a $5 million exception that if they use it, they go to the second apron automatically, right? But they can stay in the first apron and pay Bridges $40 million.
Because the bird rights.
I mean, well, yeah, something like that, 30-something, 36 something. It's crazy. I stopped fucking with that. Well, it's not my money. Whatever they do.
Aprons are just designed simply just to to put a limit on it. So the exceptions allow you to go over that. Because obviously you can look at the Boston Celtics and tell you got two guys making $35-40 million a year, but the Knicks can do the same thing, but then they limit themselves. They limiting themselves tremendously, and on top of that, with all the draft picks that they did give up for Bridges, you kind of have to sign him. That's the kind of crazy. You kind of have to because how you going to justify the 5 first rounds, the first round picks? I give it. I always say, fuck them picks, and what do I care about a junior high school right now?
Right.
If you say fuck them picks, then fuck them picks for real, right? I mean, you made a mistake. You got to eat that, right? You can't. Don't make another mistake, right? But
we've been eating that moniker for 30 years. I mean, how often have we been trading first round picks that end up becoming good players on other teams?
I don't know. Who are we talking about?
Decades.
We talk about decades of that. Hell, I still remember we gave up a first round pick for Andrea fucking Bargnani.
Yeah, right. Again, the only pick that I remember panning out to be somebody in recent future is Jamal Murray. So I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like the picks. And again, let me not say that I want them to trade or do whatever with Bridges. I'm a Bridges guy. I think he was mismanaged. I think it was a lot of coaching and a lot of expectation because of them fucking picks that we was like, hold up, it's one ball and it's 2-3 assignments and his Tibbs playing them 40 plus minutes and like all of that. I don't think it was fair to like how the public like judged him and shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, granted, he fucked his own self up by not hitting no damn corner threes. Like that's what we got him for. But and he has his own shit to be blamed for. But to then say, okay, we may be able to do something if we trade him, and then go, nah, we can't trade him because we already spent five first on him. I think it's a compound, right? I mean, you already spent they gone. Them picks is gone, and again, if they turn out to be generational picks, it's bad.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
We got 3 years.
Is he a 3-point shooter though? That I didn't get that from him.
Okay.
This season consistently, no.
Right, 33%. 33%.
So why would he be shooting threes if that's not his game?
He was known for the corner three. He was known for being a high percentage from that. Like how the motherfuckers, what I'm saying, separated like right there, but over here and then like 40%. You know what I'm saying? So, but he was a corner three guy. But a lot of what cats don't understand about the dude, he's not a young dude. He's not a young dude no more. Right? When he was doing all that stuff, he was younger. right? So now when he was on the point of attack and stripping cats and running back and catching the corner threes and stuff like that, he was a younger guy. He
That was
came out of college.
That was 2 years ago.
In Phoenix, right?
Nah, not in Phoenix, in Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But he got his money. He got his reputation in Phoenix that from doing all that. He didn't do that in Brooklyn, right?
I didn't do that in Phoenix, did he?
He was a role player. He was a role player in Phoenix.
He was a role player.
He was.
Yeah, he went to Brooklyn and showed he could average 20.
Right.
And then he came to us. I think he's getting a bad rap because I think when the Knicks got him, they expected something that was unrealistic because he's never what they expected. So now he'll never live up to this expectation, which shouldn't have been put on him. And that's what it is. Bridges is a solid player. But when you're talking about value, there's a dollar amount that you can't exceed to pay him. That's what I would say.
I agree.
But knowing the Knicks' history with paying guys what they're worth and what their value is, it's always been night and day. And I think that this is just another one of those tricky round type circle kind of situations, because remember in 2018 when he was drafted right after Kevin Knox.
Dude, don't remind me.
That's when I wanted him then.
Yeah.
So he's only 7 years in.
Bridges that went after Knox. Wasn't SGA in that draft, or was that?
I gotta look.
It might have been the next one, but yeah.
Yes, he was 11th. He was right up.
SGA was on the board. SGA was on the board. So our problem isn't I'd rather trade them assets than just waste them. I mean, we took Frank. That was terrible. We could have took Spider. We could have took those picks to me. And I'm tell you right now, Shannon Jr. from Minnesota is going to be way better than that French dude we got. I don't even know his name. We don't even deserve any picks because we waste them anyway.
We
you talking about that guy Pagier or something like that?
Yeah, whatever he is, he's terrible. But
he's only played like 30 minutes the whole season
for good reason. My thing with Bridges is this though: you traded 5 picks, and everybody says, "Oh, those picks ain't gonna be." I think I said this 2 weeks ago. Those picks are assets. So if you spend 5 picks with your assets for Bridges, and you could take Bridges and flip him for better assets, then do it. Right. Because him, Hart, and OG together, something about that just doesn't work.
They played out of place, man. Like Tibbs, man. Putting OG at the 4 and him at the 3, right? And then playing them motherfuckers 50 plus minutes, right? And that shit, that in itself was not good. You understand what I'm saying? But you compound the fact that again, we all see it. Bridges wasn't that guy, right? He need to be chasing tools. He don't need to be chasing these athletic threes and point of attack, and that's not who he is no more. Let him perfect his little shot, move him to the 2, move OG back to the 3, or do the same thing you did, because I like OG can play the 4, but get somebody like Devo at the 2 and get Josh Hart the fuck out of here. Give him a pack of peanuts and send him to the concession stands.
Josh Hart is overrated. Josh Hart is overrated.
Oh my God.
Josh Hart can't dribble. Josh Hart can't shoot. He's a 6'4" overachiever with energy that New Yorkers love because he epitomizes this New York culture. But on the basketball court, from a skill set standpoint, he can't really do much.
Well, he doesn't need to be starting.
He's one of the best coast players in the league. What are you talking about?
Because he get 44. Son, you give me 44 minutes, I'm gonna be y'all gonna love me.
We run an
y'all gonna love me. My stats gonna look crazy. 44 minutes. Hey, he played him all game.
He was getting 1 or 2 fast breaks a game, if that. But here's the thing about Bridges too, I think, and I'm not claiming to know him, but he strikes me as the type of dude that'll take less money to stay with his friends and stay in New York. I think he's just happy here. So I don't think we'll have to overpay for him. I think he'll do a Brunson deal.
So.
I think Brunson will tell him, hey, listen, man, I took less money and I'm an all-star. Take a little less, man. Let's keep this thing going. I just something in my gut tells me he's going to take a deal that I can live with, and we'll be fine.
Even the crazy thing is though, is that even if he does, I mean, because the Knicks already are in the first apron because of the contract we gave OG, the contract extension we gave Jalen, the contract we acquired in Karl Anthony Towns, and then after that it just drops because Mitchell Robinson is going to be on his final year. You're looking at Deuce; he's going to be in his final year, and both those guys are going to want pay increases. And then after that, what's left? Nothing. I mean, you're basically looking at your starting five, and then I don't know how the Knicks are planning to do that, because this is why sometimes I look at that Karl Anthony Towns deal and I'm like, it makes sense basketball wise, but cap wise, even after you just had JB take a pay cut, you undid that with the Karl Anthony Towns deal and the OG deal, both in one shot. So it's like, I don't know why would Bridges at this point do that. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you're right, he will, but I just don't see why any rational person would actually do that, considering that the Knicks are, for a foregone conclusion, most people would agree, are this close to a title.
Right. So because of the window, right? So if when what I'm saying, if Bridges signs that friendly deal, right? And any deal, I think it can't go over 40 or some shit like that. But if he signs the deal, then the Knicks will have their core four signed for the next 3 or 4 years. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what's needed.
Right.
That's what's needed.
So that nobody else that come on, including if they got to re-sign Mitch, or they take or they got to re-sign anybody on that roster now that they got the bird rights for, that they want to re-sign, won't affect their apron status. Right? So, but and they can only they can, you know what I'm saying, and they can only give veterans to sign the minimum. So if they do anything other than that, if they take in money, if they take in more money that they put out, if the shit is crazy, but they'll stay unrestricted if they keep these guys there, plus bring in veterans, and they can't bring in nobody else except they draft picks and whatever. But to answer the question, it's the window. It's you sign these dudes because these are the guys you hitching your horses to get you a chip.
And
that's it.
And another thing too is, what was I going to say? I think, and I know this is going to be a topic, but the only thing more important than all of that is the coach that we bring in. I look at OKC.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This coach has been there, 3 or 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know his name. But I know that the draft picks they took got a lot better, because when they were drafting them, I thought they was bums. I didn't know Dort was going to be able to learn how to shoot. I thought this other kid was too skinny. And Shai Gilgeous is a superstar. Now, he wasn't when they got him.
Nah.
He had potential.
No.
He had potential. And if we go back to that draft, there was a reason why he was taken what he was taken. He had potential. So get me this coach. I don't know who he is. Find one of these. And that changes everything, bro. Because Tibbs, like I said 2 or 3 weeks ago, and somebody was saying, no, Tibbs is the greatest. Tibbs is the problem. You bring another coach in there with this same team that just went on this run. Who knows what he does with Jakob Porte? I'm not saying this guy's Akeem Olajuwon. Right. He flashed some stuff that we could use. And it should have been used throughout the year to develop him, to see if we could have used him. And who knows what he does with this kid from France, because they took him for a reason. I guess he has NBA talent. Let's see if somebody can tap into that and bring him out. Like these coaches now that are good at developing. Look at the Houston coach. Now, obviously, I knew him because he played for the Spurs. He went to Boston and got them winning. Went to Houston, got them overachieving. Got young boys that they drafted that would everybody said they were busting bums. Got them competitive in the playoffs. Now, they didn't win a chip. Then he leaves. This other dude that I never heard of that's young comes and gets a championship with the Celtics. Granted, it was the same talent. Go get one of those and let him figure out all these X's and O's and put these people in a position to be successful.
And why I think it ain't Johnny Bryant.
I don't know enough about Johnny Bryant.
My thing is, like I'm saying, we team. All of us, and we in this room now. We chilling. You know what I'm saying? I go someplace else, and y'all want to hire me as a head coach. What the fuck did I do when I was here?
Look,
Right? Well, he wasn't running none of these extravagant fucking plays while I was here.
Lie.
I get it.
I gotta tell you, my pick is I said this on Blue Blue. My pick is Taylor Jenkins.
Okay, all right.
I like
I
that.
gotta look him up.
He was the coach of Memphis.
He was the Grizzlies coach.
Okay, all right.
The Grizzlies overachieved, I guess, when he was coaching too.
Right, but
Okay.
but you see, this is why I have a problem with just about every name that's been thrown out there so far.
Okay,
This-
go ahead.
Almost every name, they have like a similar instance where they come to a team, they overachieve, they perform well, but then they got fired. Why did they get fired? Obviously, management at some point looked at this coach and said, "This is our ceiling." Just the same way as the Knicks just did with Tom Thibodeau.
No, that's not why Tom Thibodeau got fired.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Look,
Yeah.
we can speculate that all we want.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Av.
Yeah, that's not why he got fired. That's not why.
That's why he got fired.
Game one is why he got fired.
He
Game
got
one.
fired for everything we
Nolan
say on this thing.
Nolan
Every time I'm
gave
here.
the okay for Rose to fire Thibodeau in the regular season. He gave him he gave Leon Rose his blessing. At what point that was, I'm not exactly 100% sure, but he gave his blessing to fire Tom Thibodeau in the middle of the regular season.
Yes, I heard about that.
And I mean, not to say that we ever agree with James Dolan, because I'll go on record. I've talked shit about this man, but if he gives you his okay after so many years of going through, the Isaiah Thomas, the Scott Layden's, the freaking Walls, the Donnie Walsh, the Steve Mills, the Phil Jacksons, and all the after all that, and if he finally came to the point where he's like, you know what, enough is enough, because he has no problem paying you, he has no problem taking care of you. But if he came to Leon Rose and says, I give you my blessing to fire this man before the playoffs, then there had to be something else. There was something there besides what we already know. Game one of the Eastern Finals, the players exit meetings. Mikal Bridges talking shit in the middle of the season about the minutes. Josh Hart asking to be pulled out of the starting lineup. I mean, we can go a plethora of different reasons. I mean, we can pinpoint any freaking game over the last 5 years and say that's when he should have been fired. That's when he should have been fired. But I mean, I was upset, but it's been now 2 days. I've had the time to think about it. I've listened to Live, I've listened to R, I've listened to Steve, I've listened to Knicks and Ish, I've listened to everybody, and then I start to formulate my own opinion. And at this point, okay, he needed to go.
Yeah, and I don't think none of us is saying like that man ain't bring like the world of good to us, man. You know what I'm saying? Like he laid a solid foundation, man. But I think I said this last night, man. In his 4 or 5 years up in here, which team did you like the most? And I guarantee you, it'll be you know what I'm saying? Well, the one with Alfred Payton, right, and the other one with a broken hand. Like you're not gonna pick a 50. You're not gonna pick a 50 win season. You know what I'm saying? Or not because of the 50 wins, right? If you just doing it for the 50 wins, then you just like he did some egregious shit.
He did.
No doubt.
I will never argue that he did some egregious shit. There was a lot of times where we've been on this very panel and we would argue, debate, and agree and disagree on a lot of different things. I just feel that after 5 years of service and turning this franchise and this team into a respectable contender, at least, I'm not saying he didn't deserve to be fired. I'm saying that, yes, he did. but he deserved to be treated. I think something else should have been in the lines. Something where he gets. I mean, besides he's getting his paycheck, he's getting his $30 million.
Right, yeah.
But maybe as an advisor, maybe
That's what I thought too. I thought
he
that.
needs
He's
advice.
going off his
He
help.
not
I don't
advising
know.
nobody.
Say again.
He needs advice, and the reason why he's fired because he didn't listen to nobody. I don't want him anywhere near here. Get him out of here.
All right.
Damn.
Get him out of here. I'm gonna tell you the truth. When they hired him, I wasn't mad. I didn't want him though. But he did exactly everything that I said I didn't want from him. He just went and did what he did in Chicago, what he did in Minnesota, and he's an old man set in his ways.
Yes.
It's 2025. He's playing 1990 basketball. It's not working.
No.
It's just not working. He doesn't listen.
But from a fan perspective, and everybody here is of age, didn't it feel good though? Didn't it feel good to kind of relive those 90s in a way?
No question.
Yeah.
No question.
So in one respect, he achieved something that what Knicks fans have been saying for the last 30 years. I want that 1990s style basketball. Well, now they come to find out that style doesn't work. But
I never said that.
Yeah.
I know you didn't. I know
I didn't.
I'm on social media enough, and I've been in spaces enough. I've been on podcasts and
I think his phone.
I can't hear you.
Phone went mute.
Yeah.
Oh, because of it.
I've been on enough shows and enough podcasts and enough discussions for me to know that is a discussion that is being repeated over and over.
All right.
And it was nice. I say thank you, Tom Thibodeau, for bringing that. How Adam Silver is even requesting that the league be a little bit closer to that because he wants more physicality. But it's ran its course, and whoever does step into this position, because I don't know who it is, and I don't even have a good idea of who it might be or who it should be. But whoever does, they have enormous shoes to fill because now we were 2 wins away from the NBA Finals.
Right.
Yep.
If you don't progress from that, because this team was in an upward progression, it was slow but surely it was progressing. One way, whether you want to admit it or not, it was progressing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't progress from that, then this was a mistake. It was too soon.
Too soon to fire him?
Yeah.
No, you had to fire him now. Enough was enough.
Yeah. Actually,
That's crazy.
I know Av. No, I was putting my card in last year, so you know what I'm saying.
Listen,
Yeah.
the coach that comes in. The coach that come in is going to have our expectation because of the talent he's inheriting, not because of what Tom Thibodeau did last year. He's going to have Boston without Tatum. He's going to have Indiana with a gang of confidence, regardless of how this turns out. He's going to have an improved Cleveland team to compete with.
Yeah.
It's going to be about how he goes about winning or losing, not whether he wins or loses. Tom Thibodeau was losing in an egregious fashion, making zero adjustments and doing absolutely nothing. So
Players should have players, dog. I mean, look, I'm sorry, brother. Toss up.
Tom Thibodeau lost us the series and not going to the chip because of what he did throughout the whole season, and it came back to bite him. At some point, you can't be up 30 and not developing the talent on the bench so you can trust him in moments when we needed him. When people
You're 100% right on that.
Well.
Yeah, 100% right on that.
You're bringing people off the bench after 80 games when you could have used them 15 to 20 times throughout the season. Bro, what is you doing? He brought OG off the bench in the playoffs up 30. I almost wanted to break my TV. I thought he was having a Derrick Rose moment. What are you doing?
Right.
And he did it just to say, look, I know what I'm doing. It almost became like he was doing it just to be confrontational and make it seem like I can do what I want because I'm the head coach. Get him out of here. And we need somebody that is aware of analytics like all these championship teams, aware of 10-man rotations, is progressive, can develop young talent because we don't know if we have some or not. Like I said, that Jakoporti kid, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. He flashed energy. He can rebound. He can block shots. Why didn't you play him more?
Oh, he talking about Huck Party. Yeah, nah.
Yeah. And I'm not saying he's the star, but I'm saying get that French kid in the game when we up 20. You playing these guys 48 minutes and 30-point blowouts. You just can't keep doing that. Now we get to the season and people say, well, they not tired, they this, they that, and blah, blah, blah. You didn't develop any ball handlers. Brunson's turnovers cost us the thing too. We didn't make any adjustments to free up that offense so that we can get in some kind of flow. And you're a defensive wizard, and you got Cat and Brunson getting cooked in pick and rolls all playoffs long. I mean, cooked.
It's about effort. When we're talking about defense, we're talking about effort. Nobody's saying, like with Cat and Brunson, I'm not saying they're going to be defensive stoppers, but God damn it, move your feet and be in front of the guy at the bare minimum. That's not this effort. I think a lot of fans would appreciate that a lot more than what we've seen transpire so far. You understand, defensively with those two guys.
And Dolan has one job, bro. Dolan has one job.
Spend money.
Pay whatever luxury tax that comes up there. Since you got the audacity to charge $500,000 for 2 front row seats. I don't care how much he pays Bridges. I don't care how much we go over this cap. You have one job, and that's to pay. That's why I like my Mets owner. He gonna pay. He don't care. Dolan got one job, bro. One job. Pay what you got to pay to get me 8 to 10 functional, serviceable NBA basketball players, and now get me a coach that can come in here and develop and win.
Can I pose a thought, right? See what y'all think about this.
Please.
Jalen Brunson and his ball pounding, right? And his chucking, right?
Oh, you mean Chuck Brunson?
Right. Are we now in the realm of going like that ship has fucking sailed? No. Okay.
He got the keys to the city.
He has the key to the city. I get that, but at the same time, he's got to play smarter. You can't. You got to play smarter. You got to play smarter.
Okay.
They need
go
to
down.
They need to fire.
I'm gonna tell you what the downfall was with Brunson. That night, he dropped 50-something points. Y'all remember that game? He dropped 50-something points during the season.
Yes,
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
That game, he felt that's how he had to play the whole rest of the freaking season. It's like he didn't trust his teammates enough.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. You understand?
That's the problem. And
you understand?
The coach should have addressed that.
So with the way, so we talked about effort. You saw the effort he put forth to go get the ball from somebody, but you can't put that effort into defending somebody.
Right.
You know what? I gotta say this too, man. Like I don't see him like not defending, right? I see his little ass getting pushed out the way.
He got
right. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like when I don't see him not having the effort, right? I see him not being able to defend a bigger dude, which is what he's doing 90% of the time. You know what I'm saying?
He be throwing his body on people all the freaking time.
Right. But that's a nurture and that's momentum, and you know what I'm saying? Like, weight plus this, and you know what I'm saying? Like there's not a lot of people who gonna mess with that. But my point is, his effort is defending. Cat, he just doing the moonwalk on that drop coverage shit. You feel me? So it's like the you know what I'm saying? We talking about Chuck and the reason why I wanted Tibbs fired is because I wanted offensive continuity. That's what I want most of all, right? I want to see a pick and roll. Right?
You can't have a 7 foot. You can't have a 7-footer starting his offensive move at the 3-point line. I don't care what nobody says.
There we go. I could go home. I could click. I'm done.
We can't do that.
Right there.
You understand? So now all of us in here, we watch the game. How many times did we question this dude starting his offense at the 3-point line or further out?
Every time he dived into the camera, crew. Yeah. Every time.
Then once the complaint about I got fouled and you not calling it. Like, seriously?
Oh my God.
Every time Anthony Towns complains about a foul, and then there's
every time.
And then there's a replay, at least 80% of the time, he's fouling them.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
He's hooking them. He's elbowing them. He's doing all kinds. I'm like, dog, you don't even need to do all that. It's just like, if you don't see that, they will call for you. They will call for you if you didn't if you're not also initiating so much damn contact and then also doing some illegal shit. And it's crazy to me because I want Karl Anthony Towns to, to succeed. I want him to, to be that big man. But when I see it on national television, like everybody else, and you see, these crazy antics that, that you only see on, on the courts here in New York and probably in Rikers Island. I mean, come on now.
It's amazing. It's amazing. He's got to want it. You have to have that inner desire to work. Yeah, that's what it comes down to for me. You have to have that desire to work, and he clearly doesn't have that. I'm sorry. I gotta keep it a buck. He doesn't.
You're
have
100% right. So I'm again. We watch basketball from we are men of certain ages.
Mm-hmm.
How many point guards that we have seen would not even think about giving a big man the ball at the 3-point line?
That's right. Nah, that.
How many would have said, "Yo, if you don't go get your ass in the post and give me a target, you're not touching the ball the whole freaking series. I don't care."
But you just described something that ain't even in the press right now, right? The relationship between your two highest, right? Your two best players. We don't see no pick and roll because they don't want to pick and roll with each other.
And that was stupid.
Well, he wants to pick and pop. He's not rolling to the basket at all. He's not going to do that.
That was stupid because there was a mismatch with that. Oh my God. Come on. Your big ass should. Oh man.
You got a 6'4" dude guarding you and you're hooking him.
I'm like, yo, what's happening here?
So if you're hooking him at 7 feet, what? You putting your elbow on his freaking neck, if I'm not mistaken. And then you complain about not getting a foul when it's clearly an offensive foul. Come on, bro.
Come on. I just need somebody to get them two dudes easier shots, right? I don't want to see Jalen Brunson chucking 3 minutes, bro. Fourth quarter, we down 2. Give it do your thing, right? But if we sitting there trying to build leads and shit, I don't want to see it no more.
So then, who's out there that you would like to add to this roster? Because I mean, that's a very valid point. It makes all the sense in the world. Everybody on this panel and anybody who's watching will tell you this, will agree with you. But who is this person who is going to shore up, all the shortcomings that Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns create for us right now?
I agree. Right now. The only cat that I two people, Adrian Griffin and Mike Brown. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me.
Mike Brown.
Yeah, Mike Brown. Mike Brown did a hell of a job with the Kings before he got fired. Hell of a job.
He did.
Hell of a job. So I'm going. He did a hell of a job in Cleveland. If we want to give LeBron and them all the credit, that's fine, right? He's a Popovich disciple.
Ooh, I'm glad Dom is not on the show when you just said that.
Yeah. That's too right there.
On so fucking quick.
Right. I dig that. And if we talking about pedigrees, you understand what I'm saying? We talk about somebody that can deal with the egos and stuff like that. I think he's a good fit. You know what I'm saying? So, I just, you know what I'm saying? You're right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who's going to get them two to stop doing what they do.
I know
now.
Who?
A coach nobody's even talking about or heard of, just like this OKC dude, some savant that spends 18 hours in the practice facility, that's on the bench of like Golden State, or on the bench of somewhere else that we never heard of, that's 30, 35. Just like that Boston coach now, never heard of him. Look what he's been able to do. That's who I want. We already know what Mike Brown is. We already know who some of these jokers is.
I agree.
Let's jump into 2025. I saw a rumor they talking about Jason Kidd. I don't know what y'all think about Jason Kidd being a head coach.
I'm not mad.
let him go.
I'm not mad at that either.
I'm not mad.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Dallas is not going to let him go. They just signed him. So
Yeah, and when we talk about the dudes that's already signed, B, that's capital. That we spending money on top of money to get them.
But go ahead and get you one of these assistant coaches like these other teams that have garnered some success.
I could agree with that.
I wanted the coach that went to Cleveland. I told you everybody that. I was I wanted Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny Atkinson. Yeah.
And if they didn't have them injuries, they would have beat Indiana, and Cleveland probably would have smoked our boots too with them two big men. But
you're right.
But we passed on that because listen, Leon Rose, man, I think he gets too much credit. I don't like him. I think he botched every draft he's been a part of. I think he botched our assets. I think he got lucky getting Jalen Brunson. I didn't really want Jalen Brunson. I'm glad we had him, but I didn't see this coming. I don't know.
Somebody give me comments on the phone.
Who did you want, Shamik?
Huh?
Who did you want?
I wanted, even though he wasn't a free agent, when I heard Fox was on the trade, I wanted Fox.
Yeah. Look,
because let me tell you something.
Wait a minute. So who was we talking to?
If we had Fox against the Pacers, if we had Fox 6'4", plays defense, can dribble, get to the rim whenever he wants to and finish. If we had Fox, we in the finals right now.
We was talking about getting somebody from the Kings at the same time they started putting him on the block. Do you remember who that was?
Yes.
God.
Man.
I was like, that was when the Leon Rose thing I kind of went, right? And that was before we got Brunson.
That was before we got Brunson.
That was before we got Brunson.
I said, and Dom will tell you too. I said we need to go trade for Fox. And then he became available. And rumors came. I said, I want Fox.
Right. But I'm trying to figure out why the fuck we wasn't going for Fox. And we were going for I forgot who the fuck it was.
Yeah, because I mean, now people can argue, Brunson's way better than Fox. You know what he might be. But this is where team fit and chemistry come into play. There could be a player that's better than another player, but for a team, he's not better.
Right.
He's not going to make that. He's not going to make that team better. Like I said, I'm not going to pick Brunson. Brunson did some remarkable things, bro. I'm not going.
100%.
We definitely needed him.
Let me tell you what my fear is now, though. Brunson has been downloaded. So, yeah, he might have another great regular season next year. But come to playoffs, if you don't think they're going to throw that Indiana stuff on him every time we get to the playoffs, you're crazy.
I know who I wanted. I know who I wanted before Brunson.
Who?
And y'all gonna call me crazy, but
I gotta charge this.
I like DeJounte Murray myself.
Hold on.
Yes.
I would have took
DeJounte Murray before Fox.
Right. I would have took him. I would have took. I wouldn't have been mad.
Though, but that's who I wanted.
Right. I'm glad we did, but but I ain't mad at you on that. I would.
You know what though? Everybody says, I'm glad we didn't get DeJounte Murray. We wouldn't have got the version of DeJounte Murray that he turned in. Who knows what he would have been? Another 6'4" dude that can rebound, play defense.
Exactly.
And that
fits. Maybe not. Does that not fit the mold?
Yes.
Yeah, no, he's
didn't that fit what Tibbs? Didn't that fit what Tibbs was looking for?
DeJounte Murray's a dog.
Yeah. He's a good player. I ain't mad at you.
I think people forget that DeJounte Murray single-handedly, damn near. I think he carried San Antonio to the playoffs by himself.
He damn near. Yep. He damn near. Yep.
The only thing was I don't think that the asking price was reasonable whenever that talk was in there, because I think they were talking about 3 first-rounders plus dudes.
They wild.
That was
he was a free agent at that point.
But we had no cap.
That's a fact.
So that was the problem. It's also about timing, because when he was on the trading block, they wanted too much for him, and then when he was a free agent, we didn't have the cap, the space to do that. So
you found money for Brunson,
but he was already on the team. So
No. Brunson was not on the team at that juncture. No, he was not. He was with Dallas
when he first signed.
Before signing Brunson.
Right.
You're talking about 2020.
Yes.
Right, but the one
before he went to Atlanta to play with Trey. Well, as we love to call him, El DeBarge's son. he was available.
What did he
Right.
sign?
But he didn't become available till after we got Brunson.
No,
No.
that wasn't the
DeJounte
case.
Murray, I wanted
He was a free
DeJounte
agent.
Murray,
He
bro.
was a free agent. I'm just trying to figure out what he signed for because that also could have played a role in.
Yeah, but like I've said, I don't think we had the bread for it, right? If he
I
was
think
available,
wasn't that around the time they had re-signed Randall or something, some shit like that?
It could have been. So he signed a 4-year, $114 million contract with the Atlanta Hawks, including $111 million guaranteed. Average salary was about 28 and a half.
that was after Brunson.
Yeah, but I think it was a matter of we just didn't have the cap and we were only allowed to to sign our own players at the time.
Right. And Cleveland was wilding out with they stupid ass offer or some shit like the trade. Right. Okay.
Because it was around that same time that that Spider became available and that bullshit.
Right. Let me ask you guys a question. Should the roster be tinkered with? Should there be some moves made? I, in particular, say no. You gotta run it back. I'm sorry, you gotta run it back because why move pieces to start over again? Even with
I don't think you need to move pieces. I think you have pieces on the bench that would have, if they would have had the playing time,
they utilized exactly.
If they would have utilized what they had on the bench, I believe we would be watching. We wouldn't be having this show right now. I believe that.
Probably right.
So what y'all think about? Watch this. What y'all think about Shamit starting at the 2?
No.
No.
I like his energy off the bench.
Okay, so again, that goes to say we need a change, right? Because goddamn Josh Hart can't start at the 2 next year.
But he won't.
For $25 million, how much he getting paid?
He's not. As far as I'm concerned, the starting is 3, 4, and 5 and 6 for the Eastern Conference Finals. That's the starting lineup that I'm going to go with for the rest of the, till the wheels come off.
Cat at the 4 and Mitch at the 5?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all letting Cat off the hook by doing that.
A little bit, but you kind of have to, in a sense, if you're the organization. I know the fans are not going to, but if you're the organization, you've already committed and you traded away Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo and a first-round pick to get him here, and you're swallowing and digest that huge ass contract of his. So to answer your question, do I think you have to mess with the roster? I think you have to do it a little bit. I think you definitely with the bench pieces because even you have the point that we have young pieces now that can be serviceable. I don't think that any of them are ready to be on a contending NBA championship winning team. Honestly, I think you need another veteran. I think you need at least another. You need to add maybe some size and some length, to shore up that bench because whoever that coach is going to be, if they're anything like Tibbs, which I'm guessing he's not, he's going to be the complete opposite of Tibbs.
Right.
He's going to be utilizing more of his bench. You're going to need more guys that that have a little bit more seasoning, that has a little bit more poise and a little bit more gumption. Not guys that, unfortunately, due to circumstances, they don't have a lot of experience. So. I mean, and if you're really trying to contend for an NBA championship, and you're going to be worried about playoff seeding, you're going to have some, some horses in that bench, to spell the starters because I don't think you're going to mess with the starting lineup too much, but you definitely need that bench.
Okay, well said, brother. Anybody else?
I think we need another 1-2, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't know about Mitch starting. You know what I'm saying? It put another non-shooter around. I think the way you maximize Cat and Brunson is to go 5 out. You know what I'm saying? Like you go 5 out. You get everybody out the fucking paint and you let both of them work. You know what I'm saying? Again, the main reason why that there wasn't a flow and offensive continuity was because everybody and their mother sank in on Josh Hart, and then Chua, and then
Mitch.
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 You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do it. Missoula invented a fucking half-ass zone where Horford and Porzingis would stand on the corners of the free throw line and sink into the paint there, and keep 1 foot in the paint for 3 seconds and step out on each fucking side. Right? So you got motherfuckers devising schemes of not even guarding this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to go 5. We need 5 people who they gonna be scared of shooting that 3-point shot, and give Brunson all the space in the world to work. Give Cat all the space to work, but they got to defend him out there. So I'm saying that's why I think we need to.
So what you're saying, Live, is that you're okay with trading Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart?
Oh no.
Because even when you look at it, you bring up a valid point. You are going 4-on-5 offensively. If either one of those guys, and if both of them are on, you're really testing somebody's patience. Because they lack that offensive thing.
I would trade Hart in a heartbeat. I'm
sure you would. But
let me tell you who I would trade him for. Just as a hypothetical. I don't even know if it could even happen. I might trade him to Sacramento for that boy that went to Kentucky. What's his name?
Trey Lyles.
Nah, they 6-man because Sacramento's rebuilding, right?
Yeah, I think probably now. Yeah.
I would trade Hart for 2 solid contributors. Like I can't remember this boy's name. He plays the 2 guard though.
2 guard?
He's like damn near 6-man.
Kevin Ellis?
Nah, he's talking about that cat that keep on busting our ass all the time. I don't know why I can't remember his name.
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. Didn't he play
2 guard?
Devin Carter? Nah.
No.
He can jump out the gym. And he can shoot.
Carter's a point guard. If you're not talking about Ellis, you're talking about Monk. That's
Monk.
I'll trade him for Monk and maybe that veteran power forward dude that used to play for Spurs too. I would trade Hart there. I don't know that they would do that, but I would trade Hart for 2 contributing, because if you trade Hart for 2 used to coming off the bench kind of older veterans that can contribute in a way, your starting lineup is Brunson, Bridges, OG, Cat, and Mitch. Add 2 veteran, because Monk is going to come in and do what Monk does.
Yeah.
And he can run the point too. So when Brunson's getting trapped, you can give him the ball and he can shoot or dribble and get to the basket.
I think we sleeping up.
And give me tell Sacramento, give me Finley and him.
How about? Okay, I got another name.
Finley gonna hit that corner 3.
I got another name.
I'm with that. Let's make that happen now.
Anthony Simons.
Oh, from Portland.
Yeah.
Portland.
Not looking to get rid of him. Give me him and that small forward we should have got a long time ago. Because he ain't happy there.
Nope. And they're not happy with him there.
Yeah, so come on. Yeah,
but I was thinking Hachimura.
That's too much. I don't see that happening.
I don't know about Hachimura.
Yeah, I'm not too big on him either.
I need somebody that when Brunson is not dribbling it out the ball, he can pass it to. When he's getting double teamed and the person that catches it can shoot, dribble, and create. That's what I'm thinking. Like a Monk.
We need that.
And a Finley that can come off the bench, give you 15 points, hit the corner 3s, and is gonna play defense, and he's a professional. So now that's a 2-for-1. Now I got depth, and I got more scoring, way better shooting, and way better ball handling.
Why would they do that though?
They can do that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know, but I'm just saying. But I'm saying hypothetically, if you talk about
Juan's got to be on the plate.
No, my point was hypothetically, if I'm gonna trade Hart, that's what I would trade him for.
Okay.
So if that deal, something synonymous with that was on the table, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
I probably would too, and I love Josh Hart, and I probably would make that deal too. But but it has to make some kind of, it has to make sense on both ends, because why would they want to do that?
No, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying pull the trigger on that particular deal, but that's the type of deal I would trade Hart for. So in other words, Hart is not untradeable. Give me that type of deal, change the names of the teams or whatever, and I'm doing that in a heartbeat for that reason. That's what I'm saying.
And you're giving up on Deuce McBride. You're giving up on some other young player, and then you're also probably have to give up a draft pick, because that's the only way you're going to sweeten that deal. Because I don't see Sacramento, Portland, or any of those teams willing to be to do that unless there was like something of high value. And on high value,
no, but I understand what you're saying, but I'm not saying give up on Deuce McBride. I'm saying if they were to do that, I'm basically saying I would trade Hart. If you give me a deal with,
I know you would trade Hart.
Yeah. If you give me a deal for,
I got it.
If you give me a deal for those two type of players, those two caliber of players, and I'm doing that in a heartbeat.
Oh, I would too.
And you got to remember too, if you do that, now you're talking about 7 players. So you still got McBride, you still got Porty, you still got the French dude for a 10-man rotation during the season to develop.
I'm about to say exactly.
And if you get the right coach, give me some guy that underachieved. Somebody you got guys on the bench that you think are supposed to be better than they are, and there's always a team chasing the chip that would take Josh Hart because they think he's the one piece away that'll sacrifice some of their bench players. Give me some of them and get a coach that can develop, and let's see what we got.
I don't think Portland is that. Portland is not that team, unfortunately, because they're a ways away. They're still rebuilding. Sacramento is kind of a dumpster fire in a sense. The way they're currently constructed, and they lack direction. So I mean, you would have to look at another team like, I don't know, Dallas, San Antonio, one of the Texas teams, maybe.
I mean, Dallas with that first round pick, I don't know, but I don't think San Antonio is going to change too much anything they got going on. So I don't know who they would give up on.
And I don't think Houston would either. Houston might get a shooter. That's about it.
I don't know. Houston might package 1 or 2 of them young boys to make room for some of the ones they developed and say, hey, go ahead and take Jabari Smith and somebody else and give us Hart because we're one dog away from winning the chip. They might do something like that.
Who's the cat alongside Jalen Green?
You say Jabari Smith, I'm doing that deal.
Would you do it for the other kid that showed some promise too, that we could have drafted in the draft? The left-hand 6'8'9" power forward kid? He started hitting threes.
Who is that?
I can't remember his name. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to think of his name too myself, so that's why I was like, "Who are you talking about?"
Because we were talking about drafting. You know what? Let me pull up these.
Let me see.
Look at this.
See, because I'm with covering that 4-man with somebody, because all you got to do is slide Bridges down to the 2. I think he'd be better. I think he'd be better at that. You know what I'm saying right there.
You said a power forward?
Yeah, well, you talking about Jabari Smith. You got to play the power forward.
Yeah, got Jabari Smith. You got Tyree.
Are you talking about Whitmore?
Tyree Eason.
If they want to give us Whitmore,
Tyree Eason. Ooh, you think they're gonna give up Tyree Eason?
Hey, I just put it out there.
I like the life. No, I'm sorry. No, Can
Tyree Eason and Jabari Smith play together? Because you got to pick one.
No,
and that's what I'm saying. They might say, "Give us Josh Hart, that dog we need in the thing to get these kids to grow up. We'll give you one or the other." And I'm not saying these are really. I'm saying these are the type of deals I would dangle Hart. Right. And if they offered me 2 young studs like them, 6'9" wingspan, defense, and they was hitting threes and stuff, oh yeah,
You taking it?
Yeah, I'm doing that. Especially when I'm getting 2, maybe 3 possible contributors for one that can't dribble, can't shoot.
Yeah.
I think Hart's stats is overrated. You look, he end the game with 6 assists. He'll end the game with 10, 12 rebounds, which he does.
Play all game.
But
he playing all game. Why he better have 8 triple doubles?
Yeah. But I'm saying when you building at that team, like I'm watching this game right now. These dudes are bringing dudes off the bench. I don't even know what college they went to, and they contributed. They doing their thing. So if I'm gonna shake up my roster, that's how I'm gonna shake them up because I'm
both teams. You know what I'm saying? Carlisle was using Stewart to round out on Jalen Brunson.
Yep.
Boom. Killing it. I'm like, what? Yo, contributors, man. We don't have that. We need that.
Well, we do have it, but we haven't utilized it.
Right. There
We
you
haven't
go.
developed that.
That's
They
right.
haven't developed that.
That's right.
I think the only way we're gonna get true depth is the only person I would trade out of all my starting five, assuming Hart is the starter, is Hart. And it would be a deal synonymous to what I was saying. Not that those are realistic, but I would do that in a heartbeat.
Man, but if they was watching the playoffs like we was watching the playoffs, nobody going to touch Hart.
You know what though? I think Hart is a player's player, right? And I think Hart is also a coach's player, right?
Yeah.
He's a lead guy. He's not he's not. He's definitely not an analytic guy because all the analytics hate Hart. You know what I'm saying? But he's a glue guy. He's a nuts and bolts guy. And I think any team would take him.
That coach in Houston is going to take him.
Right. Yeah. See,
he's going to take him.
I think Hart would be great on fucking Houston. You know what I'm saying? Like, great. Because he'll teach all them young dudes how to really play. You know what I'm saying?
Who else I would call? And I don't know who I call him for. I call Utah. Utah got to have some underachieving dudes over there with some potential.
Right.
China, that's not a bad idea.
But this is why it depends on the coach too. You got to get a coach that can develop talent. Tibbs wants to get a ready-made ship and do his thing. Not that he never developed anybody, but you know, I got to think of some teams, but there's got to be a team that would appreciate Josh Hart and take him in a heartbeat and give us two up-and-coming guys with some talent.
I know the Lakers will take him right now.
Yeah, I don't want nobody on the Lakers.
I know that, but I'm just saying you wanted a team that would take him. The Lakers would take him right this second.
I'm sure they would.
I take Hachimura for you. Y'all ain't fucking with that dude, but fucking what?
I don't even think the money matches either.
Yeah, you're right about that, right?
And I don't think they have any other assets but him.
No,
so that, you know what I'm saying. So
who's who
the Clippers got?
Shit.
Yeah, the Clippers is a dumpster fire right now, right? They got him. They got to be
somebody with some potential that underachieved, and maybe we can make something out of it. Because a change of scenery has done wonders for a lot of players.
Yes, it has.
Oh, what about Charlotte? I would prefer to trade him to the West, but that's why I ain't said no East Coast teams, but I don't know what East Coast teams would do it. But there's a team that's dumb enough to do something dumb.
Charlotte, Mike.
Charlotte's definitely dumb enough.
Because all they playing for is revenue share. Hey, not paying for nothing. They don't care.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the Clippers roster. I'm like, I don't see anything on the Clippers.
Yeah, same here. Not really.
I was looking like Norman Powell. Nah.
Norman Powell is not that. Norman
Powell is a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog, right? I was getting ready to say. I'd take him in a super heartbeat over Hart.
He's a 2-year-old dog making $20 million, and why would the Clippers? I mean, Josh Hart on another team would have to be like that, that final piece, glue piece kind of guy, like for a team that's on the cusp, like maybe like if depending on how Indiana does in the finals, like they could benefit from a guy like Josh Hart. I don't think that you could just trade him just to anybody.
Yeah, I agree.
Houston makes it interesting. Because then I'm looking at like trading to Charlotte. Now you're just doing him dirty. Like, what the fuck?
You on Charlotte?
What's his name? Wendell Moore Jr.
I mean, Charlotte was going to trade their center.
Right. Which guy?
See what Williams got and somebody
Mark Williams.
Is that his name?
What, the center for Charlotte?
And they said it.
I thought it was Miles Bridges.
No, Miles plays a four.
They got Bridges too, but they also got that stud at small forward. He got hurt.
Yeah, Josh Green
too. Not Josh Green.
Who?
That skinny kid.
Miles Bridges, man. That dude a head case, man.
That skinny kid that played for Alabama. I can't remember.
You talking about Daquan Jeffries?
Nope.
No.
Nah, he's skinny. He played for is his last name Smith? He played for Charlotte, was shooting threes. He started coming on.
Yeah. Wow. What's his name? I know who you talking.
Oh man, okay.
Let me get on my. Let me get on Google.
I'm looking at the roster right now. I'm trying to. Oh, Nick Smith.
No,
Is he a shooting guard? No.
Think he might be a power forward, small forward, something like that.
nah, he's a small forward.
Small forward.
I'm gonna get it right now.
Nick Smith.
No,
No.
Brandon Miller.
Right. That's what.
He's the future. He's their future. Now let's say they want to give you Trey Mann, who showed some promise.
Yeah.
And something else. I don't know what else they really got. I'm looking too. That might have been a bad suggestion.
So if you put Trey Mann, Brandon Miller, and maybe Josh Okogie, then I mean that will kind of equal, money wise.
No, they're not trading Brandon Miller. I'm saying
I know they're not. I'm just saying, I'm playing devil's advocate here for a second.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe a Josh Green, maybe. I mean,
I'm just saying there's a deal out there where you can improve your depth and not lose talent by trading them. That's what I'm basically saying.
Okay.
There definitely is. It's just does Leon know what they are, and will Leon pick up the fucking phone?
I don't trust Leon.
I do.
I trust Leon, man. Like he been okay with his little second round picks, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's not. I think he knows how to build the team, and he got all of this cachet from being an agent. So
he dropped the ball, not taking Shannon Jr. He dropped the ball.
On who?
Shannon Jr. that went to the Timberwolves.
Okay.
He dropped the ball with that one. I was through with him when it happened.
Gotcha.
That kid was played a year before he caught that case that turned out not to be a case because it wasn't even true. By the time the draft came, they said this is not only is it not true, it's not even close.
Talking about right.
And you saw him play. They were playing him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He dropped the ball on that one. Wow. And he hasn't done anything to make me trust him. They saying he knows how to build a team. I mean, he bought one and he got lucky with Brunson. That was genius. And then they did their thing. OG still scares me too because he's a trip and fall away from missing a season.
Please don't put that on him.
Word, because he played a lot of games this year. Please,
he did okay this year, man.
That's why you got to win the chip when you're supposed to win the chip, bro.
Right.
That's why I'm glad they fired him. That's why I'm glad they fired him.
That next year stuff is dangerous, and let's be honest, Mitch don't play that much either.
No, yeah,
we got I was holding my breath the whole time. Mitch was out.
Every time he hit the floor, I was like,
we gave OG that money.
Right.
We gave OG that money and it worked out. But I don't know if I want to give OG and Mitch that money. I don't want to pay too many disabled players.
I feel you on that.
Mitch ain't gonna get the money. He's not gonna get the money. He's not gonna get the money.
He's getting the money from somewhere else. He's gonna get the money.
Is he gonna get the money from someplace else?
Probably.
Somebody gonna pay that boy.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna pay him like $20 million. Somebody's gonna pay him 20. Whether it be Washington, whether it be fucking Brooklyn, whether he's
gonna get that money. Yeah. There's no question about it. Guys, I'm gonna have to call it a night. But I appreciate everyone that joined in. Shamik, Live, Av, Ronan Black, Reggie, my boy Hollop was in the chat. Steve, thanks for being in the chat as well. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back next Thursday at 8 p.m. We'll probably talk a little bit about this series that it could be over by that time. Who knows? But we'll see.
How we gonna get? I'm gonna send my number in the chat one more time so you can have it direct.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Y'all have a safe and wonderful weekend. All right.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, brothers, of course.
Love you guys. It's on time.
Love you. All right. You already know. Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.